So I bought this by mistake. I don't know if that's ever happened to you. You're like, Bethany, how did you buy a almost $40 hank of yarn by accident? Well, thanks Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Hey guys, welcome here. If you're new here, my name is Bethany. I'm the girl behind Well Loved Knits, and I'm sitting down back to back from the other episode that I just recorded a little bit about my saves. I don't know which video is going to be coming out first, but I will link you to that video if it is already available. Otherwise, hello, how you doing? I really wanted to make this video separately just because I have a lot of yarn that has been coming into my stash recently, kind of out of nowhere. And I wanted to share it with you. It's a lot. So I thought it deserved its own moment. I don't normally like to do yarn haul type videos, but I'm overdue for one, to be honest. It just happens that I saved all of this and haven't really mentioned it to you since getting all of it. So let's sit down and talk about some yarn, shall we? I know people really either love these videos or hate these videos, so I hope you enjoy it because we've got a lot to talk about. I recently went on a trip to the US and I have a whole bag here, a Walmart bag, like what says I've been to the US recently, then a Walmart bag of all of the things that I picked up while I was over there. And then I also got a really lovely yarn delivery separate before my trip. So we've got a lot to catch up on. Before we really get down to chatting about this yarn, I want to tell you about Squarespace, the all-in-one platform to build an online presence. With Squarespace, you can start a website tailored to your needs with the new guided design system, Squarespace Blueprint. They have professionally curated layouts and styling options that would work well for your brand, and they are optimized for every device. With their integrated SEO tools, you show up more often to more people and grow the way you want. I think Squarespace is a must-use platform if you're selling knitting patterns or even just interested in sharing your hard work. I've been working with them for years and I have no complaints so far. So check out squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, use my code to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Without further ado, let's just get into it. And I will start with the yarn that I picked up while I was on my trip in the US. So that was a couple of weeks ago already. It's crazy how much time is just flying. I'm 30 weeks pregnant. I feel like I have all the time in the world, but then at the same time, I don't have any time at all. Like, it's gonna go by so fast. This pregnancy has just been a whirlwind. Time is just wild. So it's crazy that we've already been back for about 2 weeks. It was a month since we left. Oh, it was really nice going to the US, honestly, to see my family. We visited, they are down in South Carolina, so the weather was a lot warmer than it is here. It was still winter weather, but spring was definitely creeping in, and we were able to enjoy a lot of time outside and just in the sunshine, which is a little bit of a contrast compared to Belgium, which in February when we left, it was very gray, lots of rain, very typical for winter. But now that spring's creeping in, we're definitely getting a lot nicer, warmer days, which is really nice. So the trip itself was a big treat. I thought that I would get a lot more knitting done than I actually did. I'm still working on my favorite things knitwear cable sweater. I won't even bother trying to guess what number it is. The all over simple twisted cabled sweater. Very beautiful. The one that I'm knitting in cobalt blue. I've got a sleeve kind of left to go. I'm still working on the first sleeve. I think I should be done with that today, but I've been saying that for like a week. Every day I've been like, today's the day I finish that sweater. And it just doesn't happen. So hopefully I will get over that sweater soon and be able to cast on with some of these colors that I'm really into right now. Okay, anyway, there's not a lot of selection where my parents live. Like I said, they live in South Carolina, very warm down there. There aren't a lot of yarn stores. There's only one dedicated yarn store that I personally know of in the area. There's definitely some a little bit further out from where my parents are, but we weren't able to go visit those. So I visited the Needlepoint Junction, which is all about needlepoint. Side note, needlepoint is the most expensive hobby ever. I always thought that knitting was a really expensive hobby, but have you checked out the prices for patterns and kits and things for needlepoint? Because if you haven't, your jaw will drop and it will be on the floor. I'm telling you, you will be absolutely appalled at how much people spend for needlepoint, which is such a shame because I really enjoyed the needlepoint project that I started. I haven't finished it, of course, but it's a fun hobby to have. It's very relaxing, but I don't think it will help me relax knowing that I paid like almost $100 for like a small little passport holder kit. Wild. Anyway, I went there because I know that is the place that carries yarn. They have a very minimal selection because, again, it's focused on needlepoint, not so much knitting. They do have a corner for knitting and crochet, but that seemed to have shrunk already from the last time that I visited, so they might be phasing it out altogether, which would be really, really sad. But this shop carries the Copper Corgi, which is a local yarn dyer. I think she's based in Savannah. And, Fiber Studio of Coastal Florida. I lied. I'm sorry, I'm getting out of breath. I'm talking too fast. The Copper Corgi, based in Florida. She does like a southern coastal collection that is exclusive in some way to the Needlepoint Junction. I don't think that I don't think the Needlepoint Junction is the only place that sells it, but they are the only ones maybe in the area that carry certain colorways. I purchased from them last time I was there the Hilton Head colorway, which I actually have here just to jog our memory. I caked it up just before leaving because this is one of the projects that I took with me, and this is what I managed to do while I was in the US, which is really nice. I've worked on it here and there, probably not at all since I've gotten back, so I cast this on and worked on it only for a couple of days while I was in the US because otherwise I was knitting on my sweater project. The majority of this sock was knit when I watched Dune. So I saw Dune, the second Dune movie with my husband while we were there, which was great because that was like the first time that we had been to the movies since I was pregnant, before Arthur came. So the last time I feel like we watched Bullet Train in the theater, and I was working on a sock then as well. Like that was our thing when I was pregnant. We were going to the movies and I was just like knitting socks. My sock knitting mojo was really great back then, but since we haven't really stepped into a movie theater, that's just like my go-to project in the movie theater. So I got a lot done there, but as you can see, this is the colorway that I got. It's Hilton Head Island, which is where my parents are, and I thought it was really cute that they had their own colorway, and I wanted that colorway to, as like a little souvenir, remind myself of the trip. So I thought it was really fitting that I would cast that on and start working on it over there. While I was working it up, I was thinking, well, I don't know what I'm gonna knit with the heels and toes. Because as much as I really like this colorway, I just thought, and normally I don't really do contrasting, sometimes I just knit with the self-striping yarn and let it go. But it's not really self-striping, it's just a variegated yarn. So I thought I would benefit from a contrast heel and toe. Once again, I'm doing the afterthought heel, even though I haven't successfully finished an afterthought heel sock at all yet. I was just in the knitting mojo and just kept going. So I will be inserting those later. So when I went to Needlepoint Junction, I wanted to find another one of those skeins to knit it up all together, to use for the contrasting heel and toe. So this is the same yarn as the Hilton Head Island colorway that I just showed you. Same brand of dyer. But this one is also from the Southern Town series, but it is for Wilmington, North Carolina. I really love the color. It's really beautiful. And I think the two together will work nicely. It's not really, I mean, it's definitely a contrast, but it's not so out there. Because I was playing with a lot of different ideas, thinking maybe I would do like a red or something like that. But in the end, when I went there, my ultimate decision was I'm going to just go with whatever colorway is for Savannah, Georgia. So I bought this by mistake. I don't know if that's ever happened to you. You're like, Bethany, how did you buy a almost $40 hank of yarn by accident? Well, the ladies at the shop, very, very nice people. But she told me that this was Savannah, Georgia, and I believed her without really looking at the tag because I'm pregnant and those things kind of just go right over my head and I don't really think about it. I think she made a mistake too. She didn't sell me this like with any malice. There was no malice there. She was a very sweet lady. She was just trying to help me out. So I've never been to Wilmington, North Carolina, which is kind of what makes me sad about this because I wanted this sock to be like the two places that I've been. Because one time when I visited my parents, we went to Savannah, Georgia, and I thought, oh, this sock will be really meaningful in that way. Like it will commemorate those two places that I've been to. Never been to Wilmington, North Carolina, but it will work really well with the sock. So that's a really long story about this beautiful skein of yarn. I still think that this is really beautiful. The colors are lovely. I think it's really nice that this is a local dyer and that she does that Southern Towns collection. I just think that that's a really cool concept. And one of the best ways, I think, to, have like the best souvenirs that for me, at least as a knitter, getting something from that commemorates a place that you've been to, I think that's really nice. So unfortunately, haven't been here. I guess I will have to go. It's a really lovely color. It will work really well together. But unfortunately, the goal of the sock to be a souvenir for all the places that I've been to, not really panning out like I thought it would. But you know what? It's really not a big deal. So that was like the splurge that I really did. Otherwise, there is not a lot of pickings in South Carolina. It's, again, very hot. I went to Hobby Lobby. I know that that is a controversial thing. That's all I'm going to say. I went there. One thing that I did not expect to find when I was in the US was the Color Theory yarn by Two of Wands, partnered with Lion Brand Yarn. This is something that I've seen. I follow Two of Wands, love her content. I love her designs. I think she does an amazing job. I remember when this came out and I was not expecting to find this in a craft store at all. And I just had to pick it up because of name recognition and just knowing about it. But the yarn is so soft. It's really nice. It's 100% acrylic, which is not my usual, but I was thinking in terms of Arthur and what would be really nice for him. So I picked up two in this really lovely color. I don't know where the color would be. Stonewash. Is that what it's called? Stonewash? Yeah. This color is called Stonewash. Really love it. It's a beautiful blue-gray. I really love how soft it is, and I think Arthur will appreciate that as well. I'm thinking that I'm going to knit him a slipover in this. I think it will be really lovely. I'm hoping that it won't pill too much. It kind of looks like it will. But I'm hoping that it will still be easy to kind of manage. You can kind of see, maybe if I go up a little closer, you can see that it's already pilling a little bit. It's probably due to the softness of the yarn, but anyway, it'll be really easy to maintain because it's 100% acrylic. I also picked up the same type of yarn in like an ivory, because at first I wasn't thinking a slip over, but I should have gotten 3 of this color because I was thinking stripes when I was in the store, but then I'm not really feeling it anymore. So I don't really know what I'm going to be doing with this. I might knit a bonnet for baby number 2. But yeah, I'm thinking this will be enough for a slip over, hopefully. And if not, we will figure out what to do with the 3. Maybe I will go back to that striping idea, but I just thought it was so cool. This is an all-season yarn. So they say machine washable and dryable, which is really important for a toddler because he gets things so messy. And I'm really just surprised. I was just shocked that I saw it. And this isn't necessarily a yarn I ever thought I would get my hands on, but I'm happy to support 2 of Wands and give this a try. So this was a nice haul. And then of course, last time I was in the US, I got this hand-dyed yarn from Hobby Lobby. And I just really liked these colors right here. I don't know what I would use this for. This is, again, like not in my usual realm, but I'm kind of just going with the flow here. I have no project in mind for this, and that's also not my style in terms of buying yarn, but something about this was just a lot of fun. So I'm sure I will find a project for it. I just loved how speckled it was. I think it would be really cool actually to pair this with a darker yarn and maybe do some kind of stripe sweater. But I really can't. I really couldn't tell you. It'll just be something that's in my stash for a while, and when inspiration strikes, I will cast something on. This was definitely an impulse purchase. Because I was already buying the Color Theory yarn, I was like, well, I should get this too. Why not? So that's everything that I bought from the US. I'm very happy that I was choosy. I think I was, but then again, there's not a lot of options there. Michael's was picked out completely, and there's really no other place. So the 2 options that I had store-wise, I ended up getting just a little something to have a little bit of retail therapy. Before I left, I had a really happy yarn package that I did share a little bit of a peek in one of my last videos. I got a lovely box of yarn from none other than Woolyknit. And I'm so happy. I love Woolyknit fiber. I'm so thankful that they wanted to send over some yarn to me because I really love it. Again, this is a brand that I think is really great in terms of quality, in terms of affordability. The amount of yarn that you get for the price, I think, is really great. And the quality, again, matches very nicely. And everything that's on my needles right now is Woolyknit. So I think that says something. So I wanted to go through some of these that I got and maybe share some plans. I don't really have plans necessarily with all of them. But 2 yarns that I would love to get on the needles in the very near future are these 2 right here. These 2 colors, this is it for me for spring. Will I be able to work up the projects that I have in mind for these? I don't know. But I'm definitely going to try my best. Being 10 weeks out, potentially, maybe sooner, maybe later, from baby number 2, that will definitely put a wrench in some of my knitting plans. I have no idea how much knitting I'm going to actually be able to do when the second baby is here, because understandably, we are going to go through one heck of an adjustment. Arthur, of course, and we need to help him get through that. Us, obviously, because remembering when Arthur was first born, we don't get a lot of sleep. We're all about the newborn and, trying to manage that. So luckily we will have help, but I think whenever I do get that help, the downtime that I have will be with my eyelids shut. So until I can figure out how to knit asleep, yeah, we'll just say whatever happens, happens with these. So anyway, this is some beautiful British wool. So they have sent a couple of different things to me. I got some British wool, some merino, and then their new yarn that I've been seeing lately is a DK weight of the merino wool that they have. And they have some really lovely colors in that too. So let's just get into that. The one that's most anticipated by me is this yellow right here. This is Sunflower in their 4-ply British wool. This is a 500-gram cone. Honestly, I just love cones so much, just because everything that you need for a sweater, for me at least, being very fortunate that all I need is a cone, is just in one nice little cone. Very neat, very easy to store, very easy to take around with me in the house while I'm working on my projects. I just really love cone knitting. This sunflower colorway is the ideal yellow that I've been having in my brain lately. I shared a lot of pattern ideas, patterns that I've saved that have featured this yellow, and it's just something that I can't get out of my head, and I would really love to work up a sweater in this yellow. I think it is kind of on trend. I've been seeing it a lot lately. So I've been wanting a yellow sweater for about 2 years now, and I think it's about time that I knit it up. So this is definitely like this more pale, soft, delicate yellow is what I'm going for, not something so bold. I'm going to pair this with a mohair that's a little bit more muted, and I hope that that will give me the nice, like, baby chick butter yellow that I'm really feeling right now. Another color for spring that has been just all over my feed, I feel like, and therefore has inspired me, is this color right here. This is their Campo colorway and their 4-ply merino wool. So honestly, if I'm telling you, there's only a slight difference between the merino and the British wool as far as softness goes. You can definitely tell that the British wool is a little bit more rustic. I'm working on it with my sweater number XYZ, my cable knit sweater. That one is British wool too, and paired with a mohair is just very nice to the touch. So I'm not really worried about the itch factor there, but their merino is definitely a little bit softer. In this Campo colorway, this is that green, that pistachio green, like pea soup green that I've been seeing everywhere lately, and it's something that I definitely want to knit up. Whether it's going to be part of an accent or it's going to be an all-over color, I'm not really sure. I have been having thoughts that maybe I should just knit another zipper sweater, which would be really nice to have. Because I love this one. This one was actually made for my husband, so maybe I would knit the women's version for myself. But then again, I already have this pattern, so I don't know. I really like it. It's really nice. I've been wearing it a lot lately because I am very large and my other knits don't fit me. So this would be really cool to knit with that maybe, or I don't know, something. I've got 500 grams to work with, so I will find something when it's time to cast on. Another beautiful, bold color that they have in their DK merino base. I think this is also available in their 4-ply merino, but the DK base, this one is the Quadra. It's a beautiful terracotta orangey red. Gorgeous color. I don't know necessarily. This is 300 grams. I don't know how far this would go because I've never really worked with it. I also haven't done much research into potential patterns for this, so I haven't done like a weight comparison with a potential project. So I'm not sure if this would get me as far as I would want it to throughout an entire project, but this color is gorgeous. I love that they have a DK weight version now, because for some of the projects that I've worked with Woolyknit, I have knit 2 strands held together of their 4-ply base, which works really well, but it is nice that you can just get it in DK and you don't really have to worry about holding 2 strands together. But just looking at this color, it's so bold. It's so nice. I think it will be a beautiful fall knit for sure. Really looking forward to having that too. I have two other options from their DK base. This is Trigo Brown, which I don't know why it's called Trigo Brown because this is definitely a gray. I don't know what the camera is going to pick up in the end, but this is definitely a gray. It might have just a little bit of brown flecks in here, but I would by no means call this a brown. I really love that. This will be a really nice neutral color to work up. And then, of course, the last one that I got from their DK line, again, these are all merino, is Nebula Gray, which it's very similar to this color gray that I'm wearing right here. It's a very, very dark one, so like charcoal gray, almost. I thought it would be nice to kind of balance the really loud colors that I've been very attracted to with some more that are a little bit more my usual speed, because it's always nice to have neutrals on hand, I've found, with some recent cast-ons. So it's just nice to, if I'm stash building, gotta build the stash with some neutral too, because sometimes that's just what you're in the mood for. So those are the three DK. These are their new yarn base, and I'm hoping that they will add more colors as it begins to gain traction, because right now they have some really nice colors, but I would love to see more, because one thing that I really love about Woolyknit is their huge selection of colorways. I still have two more 500-gram cones. This is merino wool and both of them are merino wool. Again, more of neutrals, but this one is just such a rich, beautiful brown. Gosh. This color is so, so pretty. Chocolate. It's just like a really rich chocolate brown. I have no idea what I would knit with this, but having a brown like this in my stash, I think I cannot go wrong. And then finally, here's the label here. I'll just take that off. I wanted to get another gray because I needed just another one, because I was working up my other gray cone with something else. It was really nice to have a gray on hand just to spontaneously cast on a project. Having neutrals like that, it's really worthwhile to have in stash. So I picked up another one. This is Kalina Gray, which is a little bit lighter than the Trigo Brown. And I guess if you wanted to compare their gray with the Trigo Brown, you could say that this leans a little bit more brown, but again, it's more of like a taupe that leans more gray. But it's a very, very subtle difference. But I thought this lighter gray would be nice to have, pairing it either with a lighter mohair or a darker mohair to kind of change it up a little bit with with the shade. It could be really easy to work in to whatever project I decide to work it up in. Yeah, these are all so, so beautiful. Let's see if I can get them all in my hand at once. No, I cannot. There's still two over there, but it's just so nice. I really love these cones. I really love Woolyknit, and I want to say thank you so much to them for sending this over to me. And I would encourage you guys to go check them out. They do a lot of different promotions and a lot of knit-alongs with fellow podcasters, so definitely keep an eye out for those, because they do nice prizes as well. I like Woolyknit, and I'm sure that's obvious, but I really support them, and would encourage you to just go check them out and see what you think for yourself. There you have it. That was my yarn haul. I'm very thrilled by everything that I was able to pick up and or receive recently. I think I have more than enough to carry me through the postpartum months of maybe contact naps and things, if I ever have some slow moments when I will be able to pick up my needles. I will not be without a lot of inspiration and a lot of great fiber to choose from. So I'm really thankful for that. I hope you guys enjoyed looking at some yarn, maybe got inspired by some colors, maybe some brands, whatever it might be. I will try my best to link everything in the description. It's one of my worst qualities of a YouTuber is the description section, so I'm sorry about that. But I will try my best. Thank you so much for sitting down and chatting with me. I obviously had a lot to share with you, and I will be looking forward to sitting down with you again in the future. If you like this video, definitely give it a like. That really helps me out. Maybe subscribe if you want to stick around for more content like this, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!